Hi, Joanne here. A few people, particularly my friends who've got English as a second language, have been asking me a bit about my story. So, this one's about what got me first interested in teaching speaking skills and doing what I'm doing now. Right then, um, the first thing to understand is that when I was younger, I thought of myself as shy and that I didn't speak, and that's okay. You know, I just thought that it was part of my character, part of my personality, that I was shy, and that only in really safe situations, like with really good friends or family, was I going to be a chatterbox. And so that kind of continued. At school they used to say that I ought to put my hand up more and contribute to class more. I left school at 16. I didn't feel that I was particularly clever. Well, I thought I was stupid, and a lot of different confusion and different things like that. But anyway, about what my abilities were, um, and then I was working, and once again, I still wasn't really confident speaking, and and worse than that, I found that under stress, or even just a mild amount of stress, my mind would go blank and I couldn't think of anything to say. Um, and stress could also mean other emotions. So, for example, if I was angry or if I was upset. So, I got into a little bit of a habit of crying at work in terms of being upset. And a lot of that was just being the frustration of not being able to express myself. Anyway, I thought it's not possible to change that about myself. It's not possible to become a better speaker. You're either a good speaker or you're not. And so my work around the problem, certainly because I wanted to progress with work, my workaround was, well, I'll work harder, and then people notice that I'm ambitious. They didn't. And then I thought that I'll get more qualifications. And that kind of works. If you get a piece of paper with a qualification, you do find that you can progress a bit with work, but it only helps you so much. So that's what I did. I kept getting more qualifications, but I wasn't necessarily getting opportunities at work. And I did speak, but I just still had this problem of these emotions coming up, and stress, and feeling frustrated or angry about a particular situation or upset by somebody, and I would cry and I would feel really embarrassed about it. um, and I wasn't getting anywhere. I wasn't communicating exactly what the problem was. People just saw me as emotional and crying all the time. And um, but again, as I say, I still thought that I couldn't do it. The funny thing is, I think it's funny, is that when I moved to Spain, I'd always wanted to live in Spain. Moved to Spain, I started learning Spanish. I thought, this is crazy thinking, I thought that I would learn the language, feel confident in the language, then be confident speaking. I never thought that, oh, I'll be confident in English. I just thought that was kind of a give up on that side of things. I thought I would learn a second language, and once I was good at it, that would give me the confidence that I needed to speak in Spanish. And the reason I say it's crazy thinking is that I couldn't learn it. I mean, you can't learn a language and never ever speak it. And all that happened was that it was multiplied. That I mean, I went for an interview for a job in Spain and I couldn't remember how to say hello, which is hola. I just, as I said, that the anxiety was so high that my mind would go completely blank. It's why I write about it and I'm interested in it. And what happened at that time is that I started to learn about some public speaking classes. And I thought, I can't help myself with Spanish and I can't help myself with English, but maybe I could help myself to be a teacher or, speak in front of a few people. So I believed that my character and my personality was fixed in terms of everyday situations, but that in very special, select situations, I could learn to be a better speaker. So that's what I did. I learned a little bit about public speaking. and I'd already stopped the Spanish lessons. And say it was a good 6 months, a year later, people kept saying to me, "Oh, your Spanish has got so much better." I haven't had any lessons for like over a year now. And also I noticed that I was happier with English, even and this is especially true about making the mistakes, because with the public speaking, some of the things I was learning was about making mistakes and that recovery from the making mistakes. And I just, as I say, I was learning the public speaking as a means to an end. I just wanted to be able to speak in certain situations and maybe teach a little bit. But I completely fell in love with the subject and went bananas on it, and gave up doing anything else other than just learning about speaking and then passing that on. So as I say, my story is that yes, I was working, and then I started teaching public speaking, and I was working at Instituto de Empresa in Madrid. And I did that for about 8 years, teaching public speaking to people who've got English as a second language. But over that 8 years, it tended to change into being more think on your feet. People really wanted just everyday talking at work or speaking at work, to be able to express themselves more fluently, and I don't really mean about more vocabulary or grammar. I mean fluidly and fluently, and to show their sense of humour and different things like that. And that was what I wanted. But obviously, I've come at it a different way, and a lot of the people I was working with had very good English, but were still blaming not having enough vocabulary or grammar with the problems they were having with English. But as soon as I started to talk about anxiety and managing those fears, it was, they relaxed. Suddenly they were more creative and better able to express themselves. I just fell in love with the subject completely. But during this time, I kept moving house. My husband moves countries when he changes jobs. So we've moved around a little bit, and we were living in Spain, we moved to the UK, then we moved to Kazakhstan, then we moved to Myanmar, he went to Saudi, I came back to the UK. It was all a bit crazy, and I really wanted things to be online, and I knew that I needed to be on video, but I just couldn't make myself. So here again, I was in the same situation of a lot of anxiety, and that I wasn't able to push myself forward. But now, as you can see, I've managed to be happy being on video and still making mistakes, because that is ultimately what it is that how do you recover from those mistakes? So that's just, a quick intro into why I got into the speaking side of things and why I care about it so much. And the other thing to say is I'd be hopeless at teaching English. So please don't think of me as teaching English. I am teaching some of the speaking skills to help with the anxiety that you may feel or the pressure that you may feel when speaking. So I'm helping people in terms of, if their mind goes blank, what are some triggers and some ways to sort of tell yourself, oh, this could start the answer like this, even before you know the rest of the answer. Like, for example, one of the things I wanted to share with some of the people was the idea of the phrase, it depends. I'll do another video about that. I'll do another video just now, and it'll be called It Depends. But it's a really great way to, if you're trying to think on your feet and your mind is going blank, have that in your head. It depends. Start like that, and then your brain will fill in the answer. But I'll explain more in a minute. Take care. Bye.